So I've talked about Dennis Ugas and him being put in a position that he's in now, being that he's the WBA Super Champion. Now I want to talk about a potential matchup for him. Ugas versus Spence. I personally love that fight. I'm going to come right out and say I'm not one of those people who believe that Ugas would be in that fight just as a guy to come in there and hand his title over to Errol Spence Jr. I think Dennis Ugas has all kind of opportunity to compete, contend, and put himself in a position to where he could actually beat Errol Spence Jr. This is not one of those fights going in where I say, oh, this guy doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell. We already know what's going to happen. I don't see it that way. I didn't see it that way when people were talking about, Ugas was a guy that Spence was ducking when he was the IBF mandatory or whatever his position was in the IBF at the time. I was not one of those people who felt like that was the actual case, but I did say, hey, this guy could give Errol Spence Jr. the kind of fight that I want to see. That I want to see Errol Spence Jr. in. Now, since that time, I've seen your Dennis Ugas look, in my opinion, great against Shawn Porter. I just felt like there were spots in there where he did a little too much posturing and admired his work a little too much instead of pressing the action and actually seizing the moment and taking advantage of opportunities in the fight, or moments in the fight where he had a chance to completely, or at least take a shot at trying to take the play away from Shawn Porter altogether. I felt like Ugas before Shawn Porter. I felt like Shawn Porter was in that fight with Ugas trying to figure out what to do next. And he had a game plan, and he talked about it after the fight, and he was awarded the win, that he went in there and executed his game plan the way he wanted to. But to me, on the outside looking in, it looked as if Shawn Porter was grasping at straws. Like he went in, okay, this is not working, let me try this. Okay, this is not working, let me try this. Okay, this isn't working, let me just go back to this and let me just fake my way through the end and act like it played out the way I wanted it to. But, I also, after that fight, saw Ugas, in his bout, versus Figueroa, where he looked phenomenal. But then in his next bout, and the guy's name escaped me, where he actually fought for the vacant WBA regular title, where I felt like, he kind of was lethargic. He had his moments in there where he looked like he was in trouble. But, he found his way out, out of the fight, and became victorious, is what I'm trying to say. He found a way to pull out a victory in the fight. And that is what really matters. But I would hate for Ugas going into the Errol Spence Jr. fight to have a bunch of doubts about his last performance and wondering if, me as a fan wondering if he's on the decline, or wondering if we've seen the best of him. He hit his high water mark in the Porter and Figueroa fights, and that he's going into this Errol Spence Jr. fight at the worst time of his career. I don't believe that to be the case, but I do like for guys to go into big fights coming off of a high moment, coming off of a good moment. Like when Shane Mosley fought Floyd Mayweather, he was coming off of dominating Margarito. So, that's what I'm trying to say. But as far as, the fight goes, Errol Spence Jr. would be favored for good reason. And I'm not going to say who I think would win because the fight isn't made and the fight isn't close. But I definitely will close on saying I really, really, really like that fight. I know I spent more time talking about Ugas and his body of work than I did Errol Spence Jr. But let's be honest. Errol Spence Jr.'s body of work speaks for itself. We all know what Errol Spence Jr. does well in the ring, and all of the things that we've seen. Errol Spence Jr. is a very special fighter. So I didn't spend time rehashing Errol Spence Jr. and what he's done, because I feel like most of the people watching this video, they don't even need that to be said. But, you know, the whole point of what I was trying to say is that Ugas isn't a guy that's going to just come in there and lay down. I feel like he could give Errol Spence Jr. a good fight. I'm looking forward to the fight. If it's made, I will totally support it 100%, and I'd be excited about it. I'd be up for it. D-Lo 404 Boxing. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm out. Peace.